California has introduced a groundbreaking law that requires age verification on virtually every device you own, from smartphones and laptops to smart TVs and even some appliances. While the stated goal is to protect children online, the implications reach far beyond simple safety. This law mandates that operating systems collect your age during setup and share it with every app you use, creating a digital age signal that follows you everywhere. It's not just about social media or kids' apps. It's a sweeping change that affects how all software interacts with users. As we'll see, the consequences of this law extend into privacy, open-source development, and the very way we use technology every day. The Digital Age Assurance Act, also known as AB 1043, is a new California law designed to enhance online safety for children. Signed in October 2025, it requires operating system providers to collect users' age information during device setup and share that data with app developers. The law officially goes into effect on January 1st, 2027. Its main goal is to help ensure that children are protected from inappropriate content by enabling apps to tailor experiences based on age brackets. While the intention is to safeguard young users, the law's broad scope means it will impact everyone using digital devices in California. This new California law doesn't just target social media apps or your smartphone. It actually applies to every device and operating system you use, from laptops and tablets to smart TVs and even open-source platforms like Linux. That means whether you're setting up a Windows PC, a Mac, or a device running free community-built software, age verification is now a legal requirement. The law's reach extends to all software that connects to an app store or receives updates, making compliance a challenge for both big tech companies and smaller volunteer-driven projects. Even devices and programs that were never designed with user accounts in mind are now affected by these sweeping regulations. When you set up a new device in California, whether it's a phone, tablet, or even a smart TV, the operating system now requires you to enter your age or date of birth. This step happens right at the beginning, before you can start using your device or download any apps. Once your age is collected, the system automatically sorts you into one of 4 age brackets. From that point on, every time you open an app, the operating system shares your age category with the app in real time through a secure API. This process is designed to help apps deliver age-appropriate content, but it also means your age information quietly follows you across every app you use. Under California's new Digital Age Assurance Act, every user is sorted into one of 4 age brackets during device setup: under 13, 13 to under 16, 16 to under 18, and 18 or older. When you set up a new device, you'll be asked to provide your age or date of birth. This information determines which category you fall into, and that category is then used by apps to tailor your experience. The goal is to ensure that content and features are appropriate for each age group, but the process relies on the information you provide at the start. Once set, your age bracket follows you across every app and download on your device. One surprising aspect of California's new age verification law is just how many devices it impacts. It's not limited to phones and computers. Smart TVs, 3D printers, and even refrigerators could be required to collect and transmit your age information. Any device with an operating system that connects to an app store or receives software updates falls under these rules. This means that everyday household items, which most people wouldn't expect to be involved in age verification, are now part of the process. The scope of the law highlights how deeply technology is woven into our daily lives, often in ways we don't even notice. One of the most puzzling aspects of California's new age verification law is how it overlooks the reality of headless servers and devices without direct users. These machines, like servers running in data centers or automated devices, don't have screens, keyboards, or anyone present to enter a date of birth during setup. The law, however, mandates age collection for every operating system, creating a technical paradox. How do you verify the age of a device that no human ever interacts with? This disconnect highlights a lack of understanding about how modern technology operates, and it's causing real headaches for developers and organizations trying to comply. In some cases, the only option has been to block California users entirely, just to avoid the risk of violating a law that doesn't fit the technical reality. The new California law has had some unexpected consequences for open source projects. For example, a simple calculator firmware, open source software built and maintained by volunteers, decided to block all users from California. The reason? Complying with the law's age verification requirements would be too complex and costly for such a small project. Similarly, the Midnight BSD operating system announced it would exclude California residents since it lacks the resources to implement the mandated age checks. These cases highlight how broad regulations can unintentionally shut out free, community-driven tools, making it harder for users and developers to access or contribute to open-source software. For small developers and open-source communities, complying with California's new age verification law presents major hurdles. Many of these groups operate with limited budgets and rely on volunteers, making it difficult to build and maintain the required infrastructure for collecting and transmitting age data. Unlike large tech companies, they often lack access to legal teams or compliance experts who can help navigate complex regulations. The risk of hefty fines for even unintentional mistakes adds further pressure, sometimes forcing projects to block California users altogether. In the end, these challenges can stifle innovation and limit access to valuable free software. Many people assume California's new age verification law only targets social media platforms or apps designed for children, but that's not the case. In reality, the law applies to every device and every user, regardless of age or the type of software they use. Whether it's your laptop, smartphone, or even a smart TV, the operating system must collect your age information and share it with any app that requests it. This broad scope means the law impacts everyone, not just kids or those using specific online services. Major tech companies such as Apple, Google, and Microsoft are already making changes in anticipation of California's new age verification law. Even before the law officially takes effect, users are beginning to notice prompts asking for their age or date of birth during device setup or when accessing app stores. These companies are building the necessary infrastructure to collect and transmit age data as required by the legislation. By proactively adapting, they aim to ensure compliance and avoid potential penalties, while also shaping how age-appropriate content is delivered across their platforms. This early adoption highlights how seriously the industry is taking the new requirements and the significant impact the law is having on technology providers. For developers, the financial risks introduced by California's new law are significant. If an app mistakenly classifies a user's age, even unintentionally, the penalties can reach up to $2,500 per affected child, and intentional violations may cost as much as $7,500 per child. For large companies, these fines are serious but manageable. However, for small development teams or open-source projects, a single error affecting many users could lead to bankruptcy. The prospect of such heavy financial consequences is causing real concern among smaller players in the tech industry. Many are now reconsidering whether they can afford to serve users in California at all. Recently, many users have noticed age verification pop-ups appearing on their devices, even before California's new law officially takes effect. For example, when opening an app store on a smartphone, a prompt might appear asking for your age to ensure an age-appropriate experience. These screens often show up unexpectedly, without users specifically requesting them or being given a clear choice to opt out. This shift highlights how companies are already preparing for compliance by collecting age data proactively. It also raises important questions about user consent, as these changes are implemented quietly, often without meaningful input or explicit agreement from the people affected. While California's Digital Age Assurance Act aims to protect children online, its effectiveness is questionable. The law relies on users self-reporting their age during device setup, which means anyone can simply enter a false birth date to bypass restrictions. This creates an illusion of safety without offering real protection, as tech-savvy kids or even adults can easily sidestep the intended safeguards. Critics argue that the infrastructure built for age verification may serve other purposes in the future, but for now, it fails to address the core issue: genuine age verification. Ultimately, the law's approach may not deliver the level of security it promises for young users. Looking beyond the immediate goal of protecting children online, California's new age verification law sets a precedent for broader digital oversight. By requiring operating systems to collect and broadcast users' ages to every app, the state is establishing a powerful infrastructure that could be repurposed for other forms of data collection or control in the future. Today, it's about age, but tomorrow, the same mechanisms could be used to verify identity, track behaviors, or enforce new regulations. Once such a system is in place, expanding its use becomes much easier, raising important questions about privacy and government reach. This shift highlights how well-intentioned safety measures can quietly lay the groundwork for more pervasive surveillance down the line. We've seen similar legislative patterns before, especially in the realms of 3D printing and right-to-repair movements. In both cases, laws were introduced that seemed reasonable on the surface, like protecting intellectual property or ensuring safety, but ended up restricting access to technology and individual freedoms. For example, some states attempted to require background checks for 3D printer purchases or even criminalize the possession of certain digital files. Likewise, right-to-repair battles often center around whether individuals can fix their own devices or must rely on authorized service providers. These examples show how well-intentioned regulations can sometimes create broad, unintended consequences that impact innovation and personal autonomy. When lawmakers regulate technology without fully understanding how it works, the results can be unpredictable and far-reaching. Well-intentioned rules may end up stifling innovation, making it harder for developers and creators to build new tools or share open-source software. Sometimes, these laws create barriers for small projects or volunteers who simply can't keep up with complex compliance requirements. In the end, the unintended consequences can limit digital freedom and restrict access to resources that empower individuals. It's a reminder of how important it is for policymakers to consult with experts and consider the real-world impact before passing sweeping regulations. Laws like California's Digital Age Assurance Act can have far-reaching consequences beyond their intended purpose. By requiring age verification at the operating system level, they create new barriers for open-source projects and free software communities. Many of these tools are built and maintained by volunteers, often without the resources to navigate complex legal requirements. As a result, some projects may choose to block access for entire regions, limiting opportunities for learners, hobbyists, and small businesses. This not only stifles innovation, but also risks excluding people from valuable educational and creative resources. Restricting the ability to build and use independent tools has far-reaching consequences for digital freedom. When individuals lose access to open-source software or platforms they can modify and control, they become more dependent on centralized systems and corporate gatekeepers. This shift limits creativity, innovation, and the power to solve unique problems without outside permission. It also makes it easier for authorities to monitor, regulate, or even block certain activities, reducing privacy and autonomy. Ultimately, the freedom to create and use independent tools is essential for maintaining a vibrant, diverse, and resilient digital ecosystem. Despite the concerns raised by California's New Age verification law, history shows that public pressure can make a real difference. For example, in Washington state, a bill that would have required 3D printers to check every print against a government database was stopped thanks to widespread opposition. Similarly, another proposal to criminalize the possession of 3D printing files was significantly amended after people spoke out. Even in Wisconsin, an attempt to ban VPNs was pulled back following public backlash. These cases remind us that when enough people pay attention and voice their concerns, lawmakers often reconsider and adjust their approach. Staying informed about new laws and regulations is crucial, especially when they impact our digital lives. By understanding what's at stake, we can better recognize how these changes might affect our privacy and freedom online. Speaking up and sharing concerns with legislators gives us a voice in shaping policies that govern technology. When people engage and provide feedback, lawmakers are more likely to consider real-world impacts and adjust their decisions. Protecting digital rights is a collective effort, and active participation helps ensure that technology remains a tool for empowerment rather than control. Your phone or laptop isn't just a tool, it's a window into your private world, holding your conversations, searches, and memories. As laws like California's Digital Age Assurance Act reshape how our devices handle personal information, it's clear that the boundaries of digital freedom are constantly being tested. The infrastructure for age verification is just the beginning, and its implications reach far beyond protecting children. Staying aware and engaged is crucial, because the choices made today will influence how much control we have over our own technology tomorrow. The ongoing debate reminds us that defending digital freedom is more important than ever.